Hello, my dear friends and mermaid junkies. All of you long-standing mermaid junkies, I love you so much. I wanted to talk to you about a couple of things. The whole effect of social media affects our lives. And the reason I wanted to speak about this is because I think that there's, murmurings. There's always going to be stuff on the internet, right? And I don't know if it's because I'm in my mid-40s and I've learned a thing or two, or if, I was doing an experiment because I thought, okay, is it because of my age, or is it because of just the way that the social climate is right now in our lifetime, right? And I noticed that the more that I spoke about this, like on my Instagram, that there was a lot of women, especially in my genre, in my age range, that had things to say that were equally exactly the kind of things that I was talking about. And so I think if there's anything that I can do, is always that I desire to inspire you and to bring about particular subjects and topics that maybe sometimes people don't look at in a certain way. That it seems to be like the narrative is always, social media is bad. You should, step away from social media. Social media is, does this to your psyche. Social media does this to makes you feel insecure, makes you feel all these different things. And I think I wanted to take a different approach to it with regards to living the law of attraction and what the law of attraction has taught me about social media. That might sound kind of weird, but I think that if you'll just bear with me, you will maybe understand where I'm coming from in this sense. And I think one of the things that I've noticed is that, as I'm working to try to build my brand, right? And there's a lot of things that I have a desire to do, to leave a legacy, especially. And the way that I plan to leave a legacy is to have Mermaid Junkie Academies, the English settlement, across the country. And, I'm talking to people, there's a lot of behind the scenes things, a lot of things in the works, but things that I'm not talking about, right? Things that I'm not sharing with people. And I've also recognized too that it seems to me like the social media gamut, right? Especially Instagram. And I don't know if I've, picked out Instagram because that's my favorite platform, right? I noticed that the most business that I get is actually from Facebook, but I've never really been a super, I don't know what the interaction is, but it just seems to be a little bit different for me. And I don't know if it's because it's the oldest platform, is that it's never really tickled my fancy. And I think the reason is probably has a lot to do with the fact that as a gallery, you can see your Instagram feed, and I love beautiful, I'm a very visual person, being an artist, I'm very visual, so I like to see things. And so when you can see people's feed and stuff like that, I think that makes a huge difference to me. Not that I think it makes a huge difference, but it does make a huge difference to me, and I think that's why I like it so much. But I was late to the gravy train, you know what I'm saying? And I think the other thing too is that Instagram seems to be something that especially women get really tied up in, and I will be the first to admit that there was a long time, even up until 4 or 5 months ago, to where I was just, and this goes to show you the law of attraction, right, is that I was just hell-bent on trying to be successful. And I think one of the things that we have to look at, especially if you live the law of attraction, is that when you're putting out things in the universe, right? Why do you want certain things? Why do you want a particular desire? Why do you want a certain dream to come true? And it's always comes down to the reason that we want these things is because we think and believe that having that particular thing will make us feel better, right? And it's true. And so I think what we have to do is look at why. I mean, let me just speak from my own personal journey, my own voyage, so to speak. about social media, about Instagram in particular, is that I think I had to sit back one day and just really evaluate why I was wanting what I was wanting, right? And not only because it would feel good and make me feel good, right? Do you understand? But also the internal reasons of why we want a particular thing. So a lot of times, the reason I think that Instagram, and I'm going to speak about Instagram most particularly because that's the platform that I'm on the most, right? Is that I have noticed that like people worry about like they're climbing the ladder of success, and if you have a lot of followers, that equals notoriety. That equals that you are significant, that you mean something in the world of social media, right? People are, I know I say right a lot, but people are looking at you. People are noticing you. People are taking notice of what you say, that what you say matters, that what you and who you are counts for something, right? Numbers, likes, and comments equal your substantiality of believing that you're a better person or you're this kind of person on the spectrum of importance. And I think that it drives women especially, and I'll speak from a woman's perspective, being in my mid-40s, that it causes some women, and I'm even guilty, of this as well, to drive us mentally insane about social media. So what ends up happening is if you don't have a big following or you're not making, that critical climb up the substantial ladder of numbers and followers and connection and right, because a lot of people do it for business. Most of people are using it, not most, but there's a lot of people that are using the platform Instagram for business, right? And so that's important as far as like how you're making your money and stuff. And so I had to take a step back and look, like, besides the fact that we want Instagram and we want a lot of numbers to feel good, right? That's going to make us feel good. It's a falsehood in the sense that because you have a lot of numbers, it really made me dive deep into understanding not only why I would want the numbers behind, under my name, but what is that going to do for Raquel? What is that making me feel like? And if I can't feel like that without having the numbers behind my name, what is that really saying about me as a person? Because what I've found is that most women, the women that I've spoken to, and myself included at one time, is that you are all in and you're trying to, move your account and you're trying to build the numbers and you're trying to do this. And unless you're going to try to snatch from other people, like ride the coattails, and I can't remember what they call it, but it's where you know how like when geese fly, they fly in this direction like this. And I heard this in business one time, is that like you ride the coattails of the person behind. Like the first person that is there would be like somebody that has millions of followers, right? And if you're in the same genre or the same niche, you would basically go and latch on to what they're doing, like follow the people, comment under their accounts, in that same genre that you're in, which would build your numbers, but you're riding on the coattails of that particular person, right? That's what a lot of people do. It's either that, or if you're going to make a name for yourself on Instagram, you either have to be in the game so hard that you're willing to do that, or you're willing to buy followers, you're willing to buy people, and even if you say, oh, well, I didn't buy followers, but what you're doing is paying a service to actually go and comment and do all these likes and comments and follow, unfollow, and all of that. that it's like this business, this person that's doing it for you, you might think like, oh no, that's not, oh, I'm not buying followers, or I didn't buy, followers. And that's actually not true. You're actually doing it, and it's still in a sneaky way. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you're not wanting to put the work in, and you're not wanting to actually have to pay dividends, basically, of your time and your efforts and your energy in this game of, what we're doing this for. What are you doing, and why is Instagram so important for you to have a big audience? Now, mind you, if you look at it from the law of attraction perspective, the harder you try, or that I would try to get followers, I would realize that I'm not getting anywhere, because the more you push against something, right? That's total opposite of what law of attraction says, teaches, or whatever, is that, like attracts like. And if you're going easily into it, and you're doing things organically, and you're doing things with ease, you're going to have better success. You're going to have better success than trying so freaking hard to get numbers, to build a feed that has a lot of followers or whatever. And so whatever reason that we're doing that for, we have to really dive deep into understanding besides the feeling good, right? Because yeah, we get that. That's kind of a no-brainer, is that we want to do it because we think, oh, all these people are following me and they're paying attention to me and I'm significant, and so they're going to listen to what I'm saying, and so I'm important, right? And so a lot of times in life, that's a very fakery kind of way to live. And a lot of times people are fakery. People are very, very inauthentic, especially on Instagram. And, you think you see the stage pictures, and it makes everything look like it's so like, oh, this is just, just happenstance to, this just happened. Like my rabbit just happened to be up on my, painting desk, and, I caught him right in the nick of time because he was about to drink my wine. I mean, come on. We know these are fake. Like, at least if I'm fake, and I'm staging a photo, or I'm doing something like in life, like I will normally do things in life of the pictures that I take. Now, most of the time, yeah, a lot of times they are staged, or I'll say, oh, I'm actually going to pick tomatoes, so I might as well just go ahead and take a quick picture of this, right? And so, but I'm going to tell you that it's staged, if it's a staged picture. So back to my whole thing about feeling like, why we are doing what we're doing, and why we want to build an Instagram follower, a great big following, is why we are desiring to do this, and what is the internal reason behind it besides the feeling good, because we know we all want to do that, right? We want to do anything that's going to make us feel good. That's why a lot of times women actually, if they're not seeing progress, or they get bitchy or something because someone is, climbing the ladder of success, so to speak, because they have a lot of followers, that a lot of people will go on private accounts, or they'll delete their account for 4 months, or it's just too much. It's causing me anxiety, to me. And I mean, I'm going to be completely blatantly honest. I did that probably for a week, probably a year ago. And I just realized it was this insecure feeling of, why am I backing away from something? I am not going to go down without a fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that it's a very cowardly way of approaching life, because that means when things get tough and they don't go the way that we want them to, right? Because computers, social media doesn't play by, there's a particular game that the algorithm and the things they're doing, and it's no prejudice towards anyone. If you know how to play the game right and you're towards the algorithm, you're gonna succeed. But the ones that don't succeed, get all, bitchy about it. Like, it's doing something to me, this darn algorithm, No, it's not. It's actually our fucking energy. It's our freaking energy that's doing it. And I'm the first one to sit here and say that I'm, not complaining, but expressing that this is the issue. It has nothing to do with an algorithm. It has nothing to do with so-and-so bitch over there that's actually, oh, she's doing all these things and she's fake and she's this and she's that, and yet she's still getting a lot of followers, It's like, no, it really has nothing to do with anyone else. It has nothing to do with anyone else. It has to do with us and how we're playing the game and what our energy is telling us. And I'm totally telling on myself when I say this is that that's exactly what it is. And so I think I had to step back. Let me plug in my phone. Hold on. Can you guys see me now? I think I have a hair in my head, in my mouth. I think what I had to do is realize, oh my God, yes, I'm sorry. I think what I had to do, you guys, is realize that it's my energy. And the reason that, I could blame it on all kinds of things. I could say, oh, well, it's because no one knows me. It's because I don't have a really popular name, or it's because of this, or it's because of that, which is true. There's a lot of times that, once my book is out and there's some other projects in the works and stuff like that, that I think that then people will start to catch on. It's kind of like the gravy train. Like once one person follows you or one popular person follows you, it could just take one person to actually bring you into like really real big notoriety. And I think that the thing is for me is that I want to remember and be mindful that I'm doing this because I want to eventually leave a legacy. I want to eventually, you guys, my goal is to have like the English settlements all over the country. And if you've ever studied time management, or you've ever studied like the greats like Stephen Covey, that he talks about like in life, every human being needs 4 things. It's the 4 human attributes that we need to be balanced human beings, right? And so if you don't have those balanced attributes, or you could call them 4 human endowments, that you are unbalanced. And it's that we all live, we all love, we all learn, and we all want to leave a legacy. And so that, I think, has been my biggest thing, is that not only am I wanting to have an Instagram following, but because I want to leave a legacy. I want to leave a legacy, especially for all the little girls in the world that, that dream or have a dream, and not even necessarily just little girls, but women, and us raising our children, especially if we have daughters, that we want them to believe in magic and keep believing that dreams come true. And that's one of the main reasons that I want to have the English settlement. It's umbrellaed. It's literally, it's the 501 nonprofit organization, but it's called the English settlement, but it's umbrellaed under, Mermaid Junkie Academy. And so, but all of Mermaid Junkie, everything across the board is all trademarked under Mermaid Junkie. So, but my nonprofit is actually the English settlement. So I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that on like the account. So like it's umbrellaed under the English settlement, because that's how it's registered by law. Anyway, so that was just a little minute detail. But the whole thing about Instagram is, I think that I realized that not only what was I doing this for, but there was a time, not so long ago, that I was freaking like I would get to the point where I'd be like super happy or whatever. and then I'd be content for a little while, and then I think those self-worth issues come in. You know, when you're sitting there and you're scrolling and you say how much it's not that you don't want to or not be affected by, and this was another beautiful paradigm shift that I realized about Instagram, is that it seems like it's an insignificant subject to talk about, but it actually is a very, very deep learning experience. And what I mean by that is because how many times do we say, oh, I don't care about what other people are doing. I don't care what other, what other women are growing in their, progress, or this author's doing this and this artist is doing this, and I don't care about what they're doing or whatever. And that can be true to a certain degree if you don't have those particular desires in your vortex as that are similar to that particular artist. Does that make any sense? Like, I don't know if you guys ever listened to Abraham Hicks, but she talks about like why we're triggered by certain things in certain people, what causes visceral reactions in us from other people, especially like the envy or the jealousy or that kind of thing. My hair is driving me nuts. And that is like, say for instance, I see an artist that this is just an example, but say I see an artist that is selling books like crazy or whatever, and she does children's books, right? And she's really successful, and she got on the New York Times, bestseller for selling her book or whatever. And if that caused a visceral reaction within me, it would be because I had that same desire in my vortex, which is my little escrow of all my dreams and desires that I've ever put into the universe, right? And so that will cause someone to become envious or jealous in that aspect of that person, when it really doesn't have anything to do with that person. It's just saying, it's almost like a very good clarification of us recognizing like, oh, okay, thank you so-and-so artist for bringing this to my attention, for me to have this emotion and feeling, because that means that I've too got that desire within my vortex, and I want that to happen for myself. So it really doesn't have anything to do with that person. It just has to do with their representation of what your desires are that you have. So again, going back to the Instagram thing, it caused me to recognize the actual internal desires that I also had in my vortex about wanting a big Instagram following, and that's because I want to make a difference, and I want to be like a lot of these other people. And I have no shame in my game in saying that, because I think so many times women just get like, they just get all verklempt, and like they don't want to ever express that like they feel vulnerable or they feel insecure. Like it's some bad thing to have that badge of honor on you of like, I feel vulnerable, I feel insecure, I feel really bad that so-and-so has this many followers and I don't. Like, there's no shame in that. And I think a lot of times that's what I really want to bring to the forefront, is that too often, especially like with Instagram, everybody's fronting shit. Like all these women are acting like you've got all your shit together. And that's totally wonderful that most of us do. We're every day we're working at it, right? But I think that there's no shame in the fact that we have those off days, or days that we feel like crap, or feel like, oh my gosh, I saw so-and-so's, this was on the explore page and I didn't want to see her dumb face, you know what I mean? When it really doesn't have anything to do with that girl's dumb face. It has to do with the fact that we're just not in alignment with ourselves and with our own desires, and we feel like crap. So we want to take it out on someone else and like, oh, it's her fault because I feel like shit today, when it's really not about them at all, And so anyway, I don't know if this helped or if this did anything to inspire you, but I just wanted to really bring this to the forefront and say, like, this is actually what's going on. This is the internal reasons of why we're actually upset or whatever. And not to, like I see so many times, like women going off of social media, or like, oh, it's not right that our kids are, their faces are glued to the phones. And, how many times I've been told, yeah, that's all you are, is on that phone all the time. You're always glued to that phone, Raquel. And I don't have any shame in the fact that I say, yeah, I am. And your point, that's your opinion. I don't, that's the thing, is we have to get to the point to where you can't care what other people think about you. And that's the number one thing that women have an issue with, is you're letting this woman that has this big ass following on Instagram dictate how you're going to feel about yourself because you don't have that following. And that is this, and I can say, oh, well, that's lame, and don't do that. And I understand it. I do understand it. I understand why you feel that way. I get it. But I'm trying to explain to you the real internal reason of what's going on here. The clarification of really diving deep into understanding it's not about running. Don't run and hide and I'm going to get off social media and I'm going to take a break. And I'm just telling you that this is maybe a way that the universe is showing you that you need to address feelings. You need to address what's going on. Where is your self-worth and why are you feeling like shit because of an app? Okay? Don't run from it. That's what people do all the time. It's like stood the test of time that women will ignore their emotions, ignore their feelings, make it go away, push it under the rug, sweep it under the rug. I don't want to deal with this, so I'm just going to delete my app. Why don't we look at this in a different perspective? How about looking at it like, what is the universe trying to tell me here? I don't like how I'm feeling when I see that woman on Instagram with all those followers. And I don't like that artist because of what she's doing and how the hell is she making all kinds of money and I'm not, and we're doing the same thing. That's what I want to look at. That's what I'm looking at. You know what? So fucking be it. I don't fucking care if 10 years from now I'm still on 800 followers. That doesn't make me any less of a woman. That doesn't make me any less of an influential person. I seriously doubt that's going to happen. I'm just saying that I'm willing to accept that because that just means, Raquel, your energy sucks balls, right? You're not aligned with this particular thing. So you need to figure that shit out and follow the flow. Stop resisting. Stop pushing so hard against it. And learn to understand that you've got to trust the universe. Be authentically who you are. And I'm speaking to you as well as myself. Is that this is another way of looking, another perspective of looking at Instagram. Because, it's amazing how many people will write to me or say things. And it's like, well, what do you mean? I don't have a large following. Is that why? Because I don't have a large following? But you have to be so secure in yourself that it's like you don't give a rip what's going on social media. Are you going to run from things your whole life? Like, I don't like how I'm feeling, so I'm just going to delete my app. Or I'm going to delete my Instagram account. It's almost like you're being a spoiled little 2-year-old. Like, let's just not deal with this and let's just run from it, Now, I'm not saying that you're supposed to dig a hole and try to stomp it to the ground and kill it, because that's not law of attraction either. But what I'm saying is just maybe take a how about take a look internally at maybe this particular app, Instagram, social media, is trying to teach you something other than what it appears to be externally. Because as a mermaid, I'm always trying to do that. Like, take away the scales, take away the mermaid tail. What's internally the universe trying to tell us? It's not always the external perspective of what it looks like on the outside. Most of the time, 99.9%, it's never what it appears to be externally. It's always something internally going on. So I just wanted to approach that with that particular perspective, and I hope that this inspired you. I hope that it served you, And I'm so looking forward to you guys following me on Instagram if you want to. Like I said, I have some wonderful, wonderful, big, massive projects underway. Nothing that I can absolutely talk about, and probably not for some time, but it is delightful. Anyway, but it's really exciting news, and I'm so excited. My hair is so flat. It's dirty as all get out. I'm sure you can tell but can you tell that I've been using that MSM? Have you guys ever used that? It's like a joint, skin, nails. It makes your hair grow so fast, and your nails, that you can't keep them cut quick enough. I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, my hair has grown like crazy. But anyway, all right, I just wanted to say that. I hope you guys are having a wonderful time. And as always, I'm yours until my next swim. Ciao.